Hey there, this is Clay. In this video, we're going to be discussing why your ex ignores you if they really like you. I know this can be difficult for a lot of people to really wrap their minds around, but yeah, your ex might ignore you even if they really like you and even if they are trying to connect with you in some way or hope to connect with you in some way. This can be really confusing, but let's go ahead and get into a few of these reasons why they might be doing this. However, before we jump into all of this, I did want to let you know that I am going to be featured on a virtual event that a friend of mine named Antia Boyd is hosting called Real Men, Real Insights. The goal of this virtual event is to help women understand how to connect with men. So, if you are a woman interested in connecting with men, or if you're just interested in connecting with men in general, you may want to go ahead and check this out. There's going to be a link in the description box for that event, but it's going to feature, me. It's going to feature other dating and relationship experts such as Alex Cormont, Chris Sater, Mark Rosenfield, and others. But this is my first time doing something like this, so if you can show up in support of me, that would be really helpful. But go ahead and check that out. Again, the link is down below. Okay, so what we're talking about today is why your ex ignores you if they really like you. So there are a few reasons why they might do this. First of all, they might be waiting to reply in a thoughtful way. They may be holding back on interacting with you and replying to you until they've managed to think about the most thoughtful way that they potentially could do this. This is probably going to make a lot of sense if the two of you, recently had a positive interaction or something like that. Maybe you met up, maybe you had a good phone call or something, and now they're suddenly pulling back. There's other reasons that could cause that, but one of them is that okay, they realize that they have a lot of positive feelings for you, and maybe you texted them something, and now they're just thinking about the right way to respond to it. This can be really common, especially if you've just texted them something kind of heavy, something substantial, something kind of meaningful. But you want to make sure that you factor this in. Cut them a little bit of slack, maybe use a technique such as closing the loop or something like that to kind of jog their memory and give them a second chance to respond to that message, or to kind of give them a little bit of motivation to respond to it as well too. So that is definitely a reason that they might do something like this. The second reason is that they may have torn emotions about you. We've talked about this before too, but again, your ex broke up with you for some reason. Maybe they had to just break up with you for obvious reasons, things that weren't working out in the relationship. Maybe they had to kind of stretch the truth a little bit to kind of justify why they broke up with you. But for one reason or another, they are trying to justify why they broke up with you, because nobody wants to think of themselves as a bad person who goes out there and hurts people and ends a relationship and potentially causes them to cry and all that sort of stuff. So what they have to do many times is to create an image of you that's worthy of breaking up with. Again, maybe they didn't have to use their imagination too much for this. I don't know what happened between you and your ex, but they have this image of you that's worth breaking up with, either highly fabricated or maybe just a little bit fabricated. But there's this version of you that, maybe you lied to them once and they're saying like, oh, you always lie. Or maybe you hurt them once and they say, I just can't trust myself. You hurt me all the time, or something like that. But there's this version of you that they have created that is worth breaking up with. And then, if they have a positive interaction with you, if they interact with you and it's like, oh, wow, I thought you were this, but instead I ended up with this, hopefully because you've been doing things like advanced relational skills, like working on communication, like all of these sorts of things we've talked about in many of our other videos, they're going to see this new side to you. They're going to see someone that isn't the person that they thought that they broke up with. And that's going to cause them to pull back and say, whoa, what's going on here? I thought I broke up with this person, but instead, when we met up, I saw this person. They're going to be a little bit confused. They're going to say, hey, what is this? Is this just you on your best behavior? Is this just you trying some sort of gimmick or something like that you learned on the internet? Is this just you on a good day? I don't know. But they're going to naturally be a little bit hesitant about getting too much closer to you. Now, granted, they did like this version of you that they saw. They did like it a lot, but they just don't trust it enough yet. They don't trust that it's the real thing, which is why they're going to need more consistency. They're going to need you to keep showing up as that person. This is kind of actually their defense mechanism against, those mind games, those reverse psychology things, those gimmicks, those stunts and things like that. Because, yeah, you might be able to fake something using some, advice that maybe you picked up somewhere else. But if it's just fake, if it's not real, eventually the truth is going to shine through the cracks. You know, as they say, you don't know who's swimming naked until the tide goes out. Well, eventually the tide will go out. And if you're caught swimming naked, they're going to say, aha, I knew it. I knew it. You were really this negative version. But if you are able to consistently show up over and over and over again as this positive version, they're going to say, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I thought I was breaking up with this person, but I actually ended up breaking up with this other person who's actually might be the right person for you. Maybe I did make a terrible mistake. Maybe this breakup was really a wake-up call for you to get things taken care of and to get things in order. I don't know. But the more doubt you can cast on this negative image of you that they're holding on to, again, whether rightly earned or wrongly earned, you're going to give more strength to this positive image over here. And the more strength that image gets, the more likely they are to let go of the negative image and to actually allow themselves to trust that the positive version of you that they're seeing with their own eyes is the real one, okay? By the way, if you like these videos that I do, please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. It does help us out. To help a guy out with his YouTube channel, it just tells the YouTube algorithm that this is a good video and that they should promote it a little bit more. Want to see my business grow and succeed, and this YouTube channel to grow and succeed. And so if you can hit the thumbs up button, it would help us out, okay? And then the third thing that could be going on if your ex ignores you and they really like you is that they may be afraid to make a move. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Now, this fits into the 5 stages your ex goes through emotionally. We've made a whole video series on the 5 stages. Feel free to check it out right up there. 5 stages are your ex's emotional journey towards getting back together with you. They are basically learning how to trust you, and as they learn to trust you more and more, they're going to have a different emotional response and a different set of behaviors that come with that. Now, at first, interacting with you is simply just an intellectual exercise. It's an exercise of curiosity. What would it be like to interact with my ex? What would it be like to talk to them again? What would it be like to meet up with them? I don't know. Maybe it'd be weird. Maybe it'd be cool. I don't know. Am I going to get this version? Am I going to get that version? Who knows? Let's just do it and find out. I mean, I don't have to make a choice. I don't have to make a decision. It's not like we're getting back together or anything like that. And that's what they're feeling at some of these earlier stages. However, as we start to get to the stage called the crisis point, that's when things start to make this shift from being just an interesting intellectual exercise to, oh, I actually have real feelings for my ex. This isn't just about curiosity anymore. This is me actually realizing that I'm still in love with them. What does that mean? What do I need to do? What should I do? Oh my goodness. I got myself into this rebound relationship. If I actually love my ex, does that mean I have to break up with this person? And after the breakup, I told everyone that we broke up and that they were this terrible person, and I'm so glad to be rid of them, and I blocked them on Facebook and I blocked them on Instagram and I did all this other stuff. Does that mean I have to go and tell everyone that we're dating again? Does that mean I have to go tell my friends and my family and my mom? Does that mean I have to tell my mom that we're back together? Like, I don't want to do any of this stuff unless this is real, unless this is actually legitimately something that's going to work out. Like, I don't want to make these changes and then say, hey, guess what? I ended the rebound relationship for you. I told everyone that we're getting back together and all this stuff. And then you just say, whoa, hey, I was just interacting with you for fun. I've moved on since then. I've started dating like a million other girls, and all those like people I've been following on Instagram, yeah, I'm like dating all of them. Like, they don't want to hear that. And so until they get that you want this as much as they do, they're going to hold themselves back and avoid putting themselves in the uncomfortable position of having to make real changes as this goes from a hypothetical sort of curiosity into sort of like, oh no, this is real. I actually have real feelings for my ex kind of place. And so what you want to do when it comes to this whole riding the dragon thing is, and so basically, if they are ignoring you, they're basically standing still. They're following this common belief that a lot of people have, that if I stand still, I can keep all my options open and I can keep myself from sort of moving closer and closer to this uncomfortable decision point that I need to get towards. But as they say, many a false step was taken by standing still. And people, even though they probably on some level agree with that, they don't necessarily experience it in their own decision-making process. They believe that if they just don't make any decision, they are able to keep all options open to them. And so what we have to do is we have to show them that even if they do stand still, things are still happening. They still may have doors closed to them. You may eventually move on. You may eventually go forward, but they also need to know that you want to be with them. If they're at the crisis point, they need to know that you actually want to be with them, that you are there in it, that if they make some big changes in their life, you are going to be there to catch them. And when they do make those big changes, the two of you are going to be able to move forward and have a great relationship together. So that's why it's really important at the crisis point to understand that you can get away with making a lot of the moves and the behaviors and things like that you may not have been able to make earlier on in this whole process. That's where the, standing up and saying like, hey, I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to give up on us. You're the one that I really want to be with, and things like that. That is when those sorts of things really start to make sense, even though they don't get you great results in earlier stages. So you have to understand where you're at in these 5 stages, or where your ex is at rather, in these 5 stages, so that you know how to respond appropriately, okay? So that is why your ex may ignore you, even if they really like you, is they just maybe don't want to make that decision. It's uncomfortable, it's difficult, and so they're just trying to, procrastinate and stall in making this hard decision of maybe ending a rebound relationship, or telling friends and family that the two of you are getting back together, or whatever the case may be. But once again, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you do want to check out the Real Men, Real Insights virtual event, there is a link for that down in the description box below. Again, this is my first time doing something like this, so it would mean a lot if you could show up in support of me anyway, and who knows, you might be able to find other relationship experts out there that you connect with and that you find resonate with you as well too. I'm trying to get out of my shell a little bit more and start networking more and things like that. So I'm doing this event. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do this again in the future. But anyway, there's a link down there. And if you are a guy, by the way, and you're not so much into, understanding real men and real insights, and you just want to, attract and date women, you may want to also check out our Facebook group called Embodied Love. You can find that as well in the description box, and that is where we post a lot of video content on how to really improve your way of being so that you can have better results with your relationship. Anyway, once again, thank you so much. Please take care, and I'll talk to you in the next video.